Aquarius. So let me just check that's working. So super quick. A couple of kids walking down the street loudly, discussing someone. Lots of expletives. I wonder whether that's got anything to do with your energy. It's interesting. So I've just decided to do yours, Finding Your North Star. I was watching. So I had a funny day. Anyway, your North Star is really interesting. It's about being defensive. There's quite dramatic energy in it. And a lot of passion if you want to stay around. But this will somehow feed into it, I think. I had a funny day where there's a guy that's got my camera who's been promising to mend it for 6 months and giving me the runaround. And it's something that I really loved, this camera. It kind of symbolised a time in my life. I used to take a lot of photographs and I got some really beautiful pictures with it and had an amazing lens on it. And he's been giving me the runaround and I lost it today with him. This energy feels a bit like that. And it's sort of making me laugh because I was then thinking, right, what shall I post next? And I've been doing these videos for over a year almost. 8 months, but not posting them. So I've got some really sort of nice older videos, but I came back all sort of jumped up from this altercation and I really had tried to sort of be patient, but anyway, in defence of myself. And he's very persuasive and sort of didn't really want to own up to the fact that I think, he's lost or whatever my camera. And so we got to come to some sort of agreement. And I felt very released from the sort of, at last, finally getting quite irritated with him and he was getting irritated with me back and blah, blah, blah. And then I came back and was looking at the videos to post and I was looking at one which I'd done, which is for Aquarius. And there's a collective as well, which I'll post soon, which was done in this old world growth forest. And I was just laughing at myself slightly because you go on, they're quite sort of hippie, these videos, very sort of otherworldly, kind of related to the fairy realms. But also I was talking about the kind of greater concept of love and rising above things. And I thought, God, how funny. I've been sitting on these videos, not watching them for over a year. And the day when I really lose it, I have to listen to myself talking about higher love. So that is just to say we can't always be as divine as we'd like to be or as our aspirations are. It somehow seems to feed into your reading. I'll show you why. And I was slightly laughing at myself. And it doesn't mean it's any less truth that you should rise above things, but just sometimes, and particularly maybe with the particular astrology we're going through, it can be a bit difficult. And who's to say, sometimes we have to be human as well. So here with you in the idea of finding your North Star, we've got the 8 of Cups. So you're trying to find what you need to do is find a new way of going about things. You need to leave something that you've really, really loved and reinvent the way that you go about it. You might already sort of know what your North Star is. You've just got to do it in a new way. Or you have to leave totally and go on a new quest. At the root of the reading, let me just see if anything pops out. I haven't got the giant glasses, but yeah, he's very much on the edge of a cliff, a little cliff. It's quite perilous, that's what I'm seeing there. He's right on the edge. So it might feel a little bit edgy this time for you. It might feel as if you're on a slight tightrope, because that's what it looks like. At the basis of the reading is the moon. Feeling... These are your root skills that you've got to support you in this quest of finding your North Star. So an enormous ability to relate to the unconscious, which I love, and I would say to be quite comfortable in murky waters, groping your way through, able to deal with emotions, subconscious things. It's the realm of the artist. It's the realm where we mine things for our art. We go there, it's that. I suppose that's why when I was looking at your cards, and you'll see what comes up as well, I was thinking about how it has to be balance. So I get these messages and they come through, and when I'm sort of full of love and I'm in a green space, then I'm sort of talking with I can't really explain it. Maybe there's part of you that as a root skill is actually weirdly more comfortable with nuance and unconscious drives, and maybe you don't need this message. I'm just facing your sort of energy, which is actually much more wise and able to. I mean, it's not that I'm always trying to be a goody two-shoes, but anyway, why are we talking about me? You are able to deal with nuance. You are able to deal with the unconscious drives that you find in yourself and others. This is one of your root skills when it comes to finding your North Star. What you have to let go of is what hasn't worked, what hasn't been built on the right foundation, any short, sharp shocks that you've had recently, something that you're deeply disappointed in that has really left you feeling very, very upset about. I think a lot of your energy might be being fed into that, the shock, and it's sort of captured by the shock. And maybe again, this, it's. I suppose it's how sometimes we get captured by certain interactions into a kind of dramatic, drama-filled space that doesn't necessarily reflect us. Maybe that's the energy that I'm talking about with me today. Just you sort of walk away thinking, oh, what was that all about? I don't like what happened there. But you have to let that go. If there's anything comparable to you, that is what you need to let go. And then how to find your North Star. We've got the Judgment, the Page of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. So an epiphany. There's going to be an epiphany, and it could go hand in hand with that short, sharp shock, where you suddenly start thinking about all the things that really excite you, and this helps you pick one amazing new passion. It could be a sort of physical passion. It could be that you're very much into someone else. It feels very physical. Everything is rising up, and there is a great, the people and the stick that he's looking up at, the page, and then this amazing gift of new passion. So I think to find your North Star, you really have to engage with passion that comes from some sort of revelation, sort of a moment of deep understanding out of maybe years of inquiry, but there will be a sort of quite a kind of, oh wow, now I get it feeling. And where this is all leading, initially we had the Nine of Wands, the wounded healer, which would really fit with the profile if you are someone who's comfortable with these realms, your root skill being the moon. I then wanted to know, okay, well, what do they do with that wounded warrior, with that person that's felt a bit bashed around but has got great wisdom from it? And it is offer that wisdom to other people with the Knight of Cups. From your deep shocks, from your deep understanding of the subconscious, of all that you've been through, you have quite a lot to offer others, which is amazing. And that might well be part of your North Star path. Right, I'm going to initially, actually, let's pull some oracles initially, and then we'll go on to the other. It's going to get very dark. Really always leave everything till the last minute. Yeah, the goblin. So this kind of fairy energy has been really turning up with the readings that I was just watching and the ones yesterday. And he says, again, it's talking about this unconscious, the wounded human ego. So we've got the wounded healer and the wounded human ego. You can relate to this. Maybe you're a therapist. Maybe you help other people relate to those parts of themselves because you're not frightened of them. That would be a great thing. And I can see that. Let's just put that up so we can get the mic in the right position. This one. The fire fairy. Okay, all the fairies want to come out. This is really interesting. Maybe it's because I was just dealing with them before. This one says, creative action, optimism, fire fairy. Creative action, optimism. But it's this fairy energy, goblin energy, otherworldly energy. Maybe that's what the moon relates to. Maybe you can also delve into those kind of areas. She looks very fiery, and that does point to the Page of Wands, the Ace of Wands, this revelation. There is a lot of passion coming from a kind of fiery, fairy realm. I love it. And yeah, now the warrior of the heart. Okay, we've got a picture of you emerging which says that you're very comfortable in other realms, subconscious, maybe even fairy realms. I know I have just been delving through this video that you might see if you look at the others. It's in this incredible forest, so maybe the fairies are around a bit, but what it gives you is a real warrior-like energy. Your lack of fear around the subconscious and your ability to deal with these other realms is really amazing, and that's lovely. Then we've got here the starlight. We really have left it so late, so I'm going to make this very quick, but it's okay. The starlight, again, this is a bunch of sort of elves sitting up and looking at the stars. It's the card of the star, and it's talking about things that are written in the stars and other realms. They're on the top of the trees here. There's, yeah, you, again, a bit like they're looking up, like the Page of Wands looks up at the tip of his wand. So I don't know whether that makes it clear if I do that, yeah. So let's just delve in and look very, very quickly at the précis from the book. But it's giving me a good idea of who you are, and I think you could be a wonderful therapist or somebody who can guide people through other realms. These could be the stars. You might be an astrologer. Undying hope, immortality, spiritual connection to the cosmos, destiny, cosmic connection, eternal mysteries. So maybe you are just somebody that's very connected to the mysteries. I love that. Starlight is here to reassure you that everything happens for a reason, that you can't perceive it now. Time and distance will, even if you can't perceive it now, will bring the pattern. Time and distance will bring the pattern to light. For now, breathe in the beauty of this moment and pour out your song into the evening air. Here we are in the evening, pink of the sun going down. To me, it really speaks that you are very good in these other realms. We've got lots of those folk turning up for us, and but also able to be quite a warrior in the face of what's unknown. Oh yeah, and here we've got what is effectively the Three of Birds, which is the Three of Swords, and that's about dealing with sorrow in other people, I suspect, not just yourself, because we've got the moon, and then the Three of Trees. So 2 threes. Have we got any other threes here? No, but that's really interesting. So 3 of Swords, which is 3 of Rivers, which is the 3 of... No, 3 of... So these are all the rivers. We're going to need to go to 3 of Trees. Let's have a look. 3 of Trees. Sorry, I've mistimed this, but maybe it's meant to be in this kind of strange half light, because we're sort of talking about that moonlight, starlight world. So in the 3 of Trees in précis is pleasure, abundance, laughter and creativity. And there's these lovely figures that are like these protective figures that are like scarecrows, but you're making spirits you're inviting the spirits to inhabit them by creating them. I know this card. So they're like a scarecrow, but you make these and you stand them there, and then you invite the spirits to come into them. And there's a source of great laughter and fun from them, which is wonderful when we see the counterpart with the 3 of Birds, which is actually about dealing with grief. So it's as if you can metabolize through the spirit world grief into laughter and into abundance. So this card here, the meaning is actually pain, sorrow, heartbreak, transformation through willingness to accept these experiences, the discovery of the energy inside pain and depression. It couldn't be more perfect. You've got the moon here. We understand that you can understand these realms, and maybe this is what you do. I think it is. It's about transforming sad experiences with this 3 into beautiful experiences via the spiritual realm. I think you're a shaman, a therapist, an astrologer. If you don't do any of this professionally, I suspect you're somebody who just delves into these realms and helps other people, and this is your North Star. It might well involve realms like astrology or the fairy realm, and you are not frightened. You have a real warrior. You can face the sort of you have the wounded warrior about you. You have the wounded ego. Wounded ego doesn't bother you when you come up across those things in other people. You've got the fire fairy, this passion and abundance that comes from being able to creative action and optimism through these, and then the warrior through these difficult times. you can still get to this amazing revelation and this new passionate start. And that is what I think you can help other people do as well. So if you aren't somebody who helps people in those ways, this is how you're going to find your North Star. You have to go through the uncomfortable processes. You're well equipped to do it. You have to accept the shadow. Like I had to have the experience of losing my shirt with someone today, and then coming back and looking at a video that I was about to post and thinking it was such a different message, and the kind of irony of that, but being able to accept that we're both, and that we can be both, and we can accept our shadow. I suppose it's shadow work, isn't it? And still have something to give people in the world, and that is your path, whether it's helping other people or whether through shadow work suddenly the revelation of what your true passion is will come. But that's a really lovely reading. I'm sorry I've left it so late. I'm not going to keep going because I'm not going to be able to be seen soon. But thank you, and see you again.